Hello and welcome to Creative Marketing TV. My name is Susan Joy Schleef. I'm the founder and host of Creative Marketing TV. And today I have two special guests with me. We are going to talk about repurposing, or as I like to call it, multipurposing. And this is something that is a big topic, of course, in content marketing, but also applies to training materials, which I know is another big part of my audience, people who are in corporate training, such as I am. We're always looking for ways to save time and make use of materials that we've created in the past and repurpose them for a new training or a new marketing piece. The reason I like to call it multipurposing, and just a second, let me get myself on camera here. The reason I call it multipurposing is because I plan out ahead of time the different ways that I'm going to use a particular image or a particular piece of text. And I plan that all out. So there are really going to be multiple forms of that piece, whatever it is that I'm creating it. And that's all part of how I plan it from the beginning. I'll talk about my process with that at the end. We are going to start with Margaret Eves, who will be sharing how some of the techniques she uses for repurposing. And then Tim Maudlin will come on and talk about his approach to repurposing. And I'll wrap things up at the end. So please welcome Margaret Eves. Margaret, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I sure can. Welcome.
Great. Thank you. So you want me to go ahead and share what I've got?
Yeah, and then, just give us a little bit of an idea of what we're going to be looking at, and you share your screen and let me know when you're ready to play the video, and I'll take care of that.
Sure. I like to use, I blog, and I blog about family history, and I also blog about sharing family history with video. And so a lot of genealogists and family historians write blogs. And then what I like about Lumen was they make it so easy to pull a blog in and add photos or add pictures and share it as a video. And it's a great way to let people know there's a blog post there they can look at, and it just gets people's attention. So if you want to show one of the examples of one of the videos I made, go right ahead.
Sure, I'll bring that up. Okay, I'm going to stop it, Margaret, because I see a message from Tim here that the sound is not coming through. So we won't necessarily play the whole thing. That's odd because it did pick up on the recording last night. I'm not sure why it's not coming, but.
Okay. Well, yeah, it does. You can add music to the videos, which is another way to engage people. And I can go ahead and show quickly how I can recreate that video.
Yeah, or at least get the process started so people see how Lumen 5 works and how easy it is to use.
So to share my screen,
you go over on the left, the green button, the arrow.
And I'm going to do that. It's making, okay, I have to share my entire screen. All right, so I'll go back to, this is Lumen, and just let me know if you can see that. I I've got the Lumen dashboard up.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Okay. So these are videos I've created previously, and you can download those to your computer to use any way you wish. And then these are some drafts, so I can go in and keep editing and changing. But I'm just going to click Create Video. And you can start from scratch, or you can copy and paste in content. I'm going to show how to use an article or blog post. And so I have a blog called Video Genealogy, and this is what the blog post looks like when you see it as a reader or viewer. I'm going to go in and grab, I'll just take that URL and paste it in here and go, and it'll load in that article. And so it's got the full article in here, but I don't want to use all of that for the video. That would be a bit much. But I can just start clicking on sentences that I want to have in my video. And so it initially, it automatically pulls in the title of your blog post. And so I could go in and change that if I wanted to. Easy to do. And it'll start as you click on content, it'll pull that in and use a placeholder photo from its photo library. And you'll be able to change that if you want. But as you can see, it automatically will break out a sentence into chunks. So this will actually, and I'll show you, I'll do a preview. You'll see how it'll bring in one chunk and then pull in the next chunk of text. So it does that automatically. But I can go through here and just keep adding the parts I want to have. And it's pretty easy. So you're thinking right here, for starters, you're thinking about your story. So it lets you focus on that first. And so I'm just going to keep adding these things in. And I'm thinking, well, this is kind of long. I don't want all of this. So I'm just going to pull in kind of the main ideas. The ideas with this video is you want to engage people so that they go to your blog post. But you can make it as long as you want. They encourage you to make them, short. Let's see. And I'll just keep going until I feel like I've got enough for my video. And then once I've got my story figured out, and again, you can go back and edit that. You can delete or add in as you want. I want to add media. I want to add photos that are my photos. So you have the option of bringing in, you can upload photographs from your own collection, or if you use stock photos, you can upload stock photos that you have access to and the rights to. Or you can go into their library and I can say, type in something, and it will pull in stuff from its stock media library, which you can use. So I might say, well, that's kind of intriguing, and pull that in. And then I can just go through my story. And as you can see, if these two are connected, this one's smaller than the one above, so that means it's going to be all together. And I'm deciding I want to use this concept of low-hanging fruit, so I might go with more of an icon here. And I can filter. I don't necessarily want photos here, so I'm going to deselect videos and photos, but again, you can get video, which is kind of nice. And so it gives me this, I'm looking at a lot of different ideas. It does have some video animations too, which are kind of fun if you want to use those. So I'm going to pull that in, and then I can preview it, and you see how it kind of makes it move across the screen, and then it pulls in the text, which I think it's kind of a nice job. And so I'm going to try another little test here. So again, I'm just kind of playing here. So here's another way to kind of use we've got sections or whatever, you can pull in a photograph. It's not showing me the photos. But that's just an example of what you can do. So I might pull in a photo here. And then I'm going to go back to my photos. Let's see. And so then you can just go along and pull in photographs as you go. I'm going to try the search again.
Well, that sure looks easy, Margaret.
It really, it's easy and it's fun too. That's what I like about it, is that it's just kind of fun. It makes it so you're not worried about the technology so much, because you can go back in and change it. And you just, play with it. That's what I like about it, is I can, and again, I kind of thought through this, what's an interest of a grandchild? And so I think, we all had toys and things like that, or hobbies. So it's fun to use their photos, but you've probably got photos you could use too if you're, telling a story, or if you had a blog post that had photos that you were able to use, you can pull those in there with the upload.
Well, that's a great demo. Thank you, Margaret. We probably should start to wrap up, so Tim has time to talk about his.
Okay, yeah, alrighty.
Thank you so much for demonstrating that.
And I'll just show you one quick thing. If you're doing Instagram, you can automatically just change it to Instagram, and it automatically reformats everything for you.
That's nice.
And so that is and then you can always cut it down to meet the length that you want it.
That's great. Let me just bring up a bit of your video that we saw before. You have a square version for Instagram also. So I'll show
and that's
a little
the
bit
shorter
of
one too. And I guess I need to do I need to cancel my share?
No, when I switch here, it's going to cover it.
Okay.
Hey, Margaret, how much does Lumen cost? Is it free or is it paid?
They have a free version. I've been using the free version. They have a paid version where you get some more features and a little bit more abilities, but I've been pretty happy with the free version.
Does it have a watermark with the free version, or is it?
With the free version, there's a watermark. Another thing I like about the free version is it does still allow you to you can add credit information as you upload things. So if you need to do that, yeah. And it's with the free version, you're limited to the resolution, the size of the video. If you wanted higher resolution, you'd have to go with the paid version.
The paid version. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So, Tim.
Okay.
Where are we going first for you?
Well, I'm Tim Maudlin with DoWhatYouCanNow.com, and I try to encourage people to do what they can where they are with what they have. And this whole idea about repurposing is kind of cool, because I've taken, as my example today, a concept of action, and I'm showing how that I can chunk it down into small bite-sized steps and then repurpose those steps. And so you're going to see with some of the examples that I'm going to share here what we're doing. What I did with this concept of action, I thought I would create something around the idea of 3 reasons why people don't take action. And so I made a short video to include those 3 reasons, and I think you're going to show that for us first.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that showing?
It's showing. There's no music again, but
okay.
Now, when I speak, can you still just see the video, or am I coming up full screen?
No, we can still see the video when
Cool.
we're talking.
Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. If we just leave that video, that last screen up, the last frame up.
Well, I think it's going to restart when I do that. So,
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, what I did was I had the 3 reasons that I outlined in the video, and then I took one of those reasons as my call to action. And really those reasons could be viewed as excuses or objections. And so I took one of those objections and I showed why it should not be used as an excuse. And that was the last frame of that video. And so that was the basic idea around this, the basic content that I created. But as we're talking about repurposing, what more can be done with that one piece of content? And so the first thing I did was I added a piece of content to this. In other words, what I had was something I'd created already. I had a journal that I made for as an opt-in gift. And so there's another video, and I don't know if you can do this or not, but we don't have to play the whole video. But at the end of the video, there is another frame, which is a call to action to get this journal. And that was something that could be used for folks if they want to work on being more active and taking action on different things. Now, this video is only a minute long, so we'll go through the same 3 steps again.
Okay.
And there's where I talk about taking action, answering that objection. And then here's my call to action as far as a free gift. And this I'm using as an opt-in gift to grow my email list.
Okay. And then I know you had an image of that opt-in too. You want me to bring that up?
Yeah, you can bring that up. That's fine. And I'll put all these links. We'll add them to the show notes afterwards. But right. This is the last frame, which was the opt-in gift. Okay. And it has the link over there in the lower left, timsuggests.com // MW journal. So we'll have that link in the show notes later. So that was the first way I repurposed this. Okay. Because the initial video was just getting the content created. Now I wanted to figure out what I could do with it. So I added this last frame with the opt-in gift. Now, the second thing I did with this video then was to upload it to YouTube. So there now it's on a different platform. It's on YouTube. The third thing I wanted to do was I wanted to see if I could turn this video into a video article. And so I went to LinkedIn Publishing, and I embedded on LinkedIn Publishing, you can embed videos. And so I took the link from YouTube, embedded it into LinkedIn Publishing, and created an article. Now, I don't think we can bring that article up.
It's not coming up right. I can show the header of it.
That's fine. That's fine. And I'll explain what I did here. So I've embedded the video into the article and took some of the points from the video and put them into the article to create the article. This is the header graphic for the article. And what's cool about this is when you're going to create your articles, you need a graphic at the top. And so all I did was take one of the frames from the video, added that to LinkedIn, and that became my cover photo.
And Tim, Tim, I can just add here, it's a rather large graphic too, right? So I know I usually end up using a wider graphic than I would in a video.
Yeah, no, the way you get around that is when you create your videos, you can control the export feature. And so you can make it to the correct size if you want. So this is—
I never thought about doing it that way. Good idea.
Yeah, you can. That way you don't have to have Photoshop or anything. Whatever your export function is in your video, just look at the resolution, know the resolution of the image that you need to upload to LinkedIn, and then you can go from there. And so that's what I did here. And so that became the cover graphic for the article. I embedded the video into the article. I also used the same call to action with that opt-in journal. And so that's what made the LinkedIn article. I could also post this on my blog. So this article that I just created can now be a blog post, or you can start with the blog post first and make the LinkedIn article, either way. But that's another way to repurpose this. But there's more. And so let's go to the infographic image that I gave you. Okay, this is one of the frames from the video. And I thought, okay, an infographic is basically steps to do something. And so I just took the frame after all 3 steps were illustrated, and that becomes an infographic. Now, I can take that infographic, I can post it on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, my website, number of places I can post it. I can also use that as an opt-in gift. And so multiple ways to repurpose that image. And then let's go on to the next image I gave you, the poster. Yeah, the poster. Remember, this is coming from one video, and this is another frame. Okay, this is the right before the end. This was the call to action, the answering the objections, and so this could be a poster.
And Tim, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but I just was going to mention there's a couple ways you can get these from the video, because if you have it in a video editing software like Camtasia Studio or ScreenFlow or something, you should be able to save a frame as an image, right?
Right. Yeah.
I make a lot of my videos in PowerPoint, so then I already have them there and can save that as an image too.
Right. The one way to think about this is that I work with Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, and with graphic programs. Now, you might not normally think about this, but the video creation software could also be a graphic creation software. So you've created it. Now, just as you said, you can use Camtasia or other forms to capture the image. Now you can do a screen capture, or you can bring this into Photoshop too, the video, and capture it that way. So there's multiple ways to get the graphic out of the video. But once you've done that, now it can become something else. And so it could become a poster, which could be repurposed in all the ways we just talked about with the infographic: Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. Could be an opt-in gift. Number of different ways you can use this image aside from the original video it came from. And so this could also, as was used earlier, it was the header graphic for my LinkedIn article. But the next one, I've got one other idea for this repurposing that is my favorite with this particular video. And everything so far has been a digital product, a digital image. But there's one other thing I did with this, and I took this image, or part of this image, and I turned it into a product. And so here you see an image of mugs. And what I did was I took part of the frame, which had that clapperboard with the call to action, take action, don't wait for permission. I took that image and I put it on one side of a coffee mug. And then I took the text from the video where it says, "You're the director, what action will you take today?" That was my call to action in the video. I took that and put that on the other side of the mug. And so now this becomes a product, which is, you know, just another way to repurpose, another way you can monetize this piece of content.
And I think you're doing sort of like print on demand for these products, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah,
people
exactly.
can go online and order the one they want, and then it gets sent directly, right?
Exactly.
And if I can make a little testimonial here, I purchased the mug for my husband because he happens to be a cameraman, but I think anybody would enjoy this. And he really likes the mug because it's a nice big mug. Yeah. And he enjoys the graphic too. But it's nice that you can offer these products so easily. You've got the graphics, and then if people, for people who like mugs, and we all use mugs, it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, and I think the one he got was 15 ounces. I mean, this company lets you choose 11 or 15, and so many people like that 15-ounce mug. You can put more in it, and it's just a little bit more handier. So, yeah, it's cool. I'm glad he's enjoying it. Now, the thing with once you've created the mug, the next thing you can do is you can go back to the you can go to the supplier that's going to fulfill the orders for the mugs. And you can download those images, and you can make another frame to make a whole new video. And so there's a third video where you'll see that I took the original video. The second video was where I added the Optin Gift with the journal. I made a third video now of that same original content, added one more frame, or switched out the last frame and put the mug in. So if you want to switch that out.
Yeah, it's up. It's on there now.
Okay, cool. And so at the end of that, I've got a whole different call to action, and that is getting the mug. And so when we get to that last frame, I'll show you what happened. Okay, can you just pause it there?
No, I can't really.
Okay, that's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So a bonus tip, and here's just a call to action with, again, the link to get the mug below. And all I did was go to the supplier for the mug, and they tell you just right click on that image, download it to your desktop. And so I just did that, made one more frame, made a whole different video. So I repurposed the video. I have 3 versions of the video. I have an Optin Gift, I have a product, and then that was off of one of the 3 points in the video. I can rinse and repeat.
Do the same thing for the other.
Yeah, points, and I'm going to be doing 2 more different mugs as well based on those other points. And so those are some ways you can repurpose content.
So Tim, do you have those videos on YouTube?
Yes. Yes,
so
I
that's
do.
Good. So you've got them up on YouTube too.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got them on YouTube, and I've got that one on LinkedIn. So, and really you get them all those different places, and you have them point back to your website. So they're generating traffic for you, and the mug's got my website on there as well. So there's all kinds of things.
That's great. I haven't done much with that yet, with the products, but you've given me an idea now on some things I could put on mugs. And then I'm thinking, take those images, like you said, download them from the website, and you could make a whole video just out of a series of mug images with quotes or tips or something on them.
Exactly.
Fun.
Yeah. People see how you can do that then, and they say, "Oh, I'd like to have that mug because on one side is the graphic, the other side are the tips," and so you could, think about it.
That. Well, thank you, Tim. That's great ideas there. I'm just going to wrap up very quickly. I know we're about at the end here. I'm going to show you. Tell you 2 things that I start with when I plan my multipurposing or my repurposing. The first thing I do is to look at, what do I want to promote right now? And it's not always a paid product. It could be a free gift that I'm trying to give away to build my email list. So I decide that first, and then I create content that is going to give people information about that topic or get them interested in what I have to offer. Recently, I was promoting, and still am promoting, a monthly holiday marketing calendar. And so I wrote a couple of blog posts about holiday marketing and what are the advantages of it to get people thinking about how they might use this calendar. So let me bring up my blog and show you where those blog posts are, and then I'll show you something that I repurposed from it as well. Okay, so this last one actually is about gifts, which I'm promoting now as well, but that's the wrong one. Sorry. Didn't get both of them shared right here. If I scroll down here, well, even in this one, you can see I've got a GIF playing in the blog post here, and then I can also post that GIF on Facebook or YouTube, not YouTube, Twitter, or wherever you want to share it. The previous blog post about holiday marketing included a GIF as well, which can be shared separately. And then lower down here, you see a tip graphic where I can post that separately on social media as well. And that one includes my Facebook page at the bottom here to send people there for more information. So that's a lot of my work then has to do with figuring out what am I trying to promote and what images from the blog post can I then use in other places. And to make that work better, I often am including text on top of the image, not just the image itself. And then let me share one other blog post, which I wanted to let you know is a good reference. The other thing that I look at, Tim and I talked a little bit earlier about different sizes of images and different sizes of videos. That is an issue when you're sharing on multiple different social media platforms, particularly. And so one of the things that I did in a blog post last fall was I talked through how I plan the different sizes of graphics that I'm going to need. Is that showing up correctly now? That
yeah. And one thing I was thinking of, Susan, is in addition to formats, there's also links in terms of time.
Yes, that's true for the videos. Yep.
But you can re-edit and just have different versions.
You can, but that might be a good thing to plan ahead as well.
Right.
Maybe you do the short version first for Instagram, and then you take that clip and see, okay, how can I expand on this? Do I want to add something at the beginning, add something more afterwards? There are different choices there.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll put the link for this in the comments under the recording as well. This hopefully will help you. I always start with what's the largest image that I'm going to need. And often that's for a LinkedIn article header, or it could be a social media profile image, which are pretty large, like on YouTube or LinkedIn. And then so this example up here is the full size of the graphic. And then I recropped it into a vertical format. If people want something that they can share on Pinterest, I'll often create a vertical image like this and maybe add some text above and below. And
Susan,
then I also cropped it into a square image here.
Do you have a favorite tool that you use to reformat and change the size? And
I do a lot of this in PowerPoint, and I just have templates created in the different sizes. And then I can bring my images in there and crop them to the size of that particular slide file that I'm working in. So for instance, I have a square file, and I have a widescreen file, and I have a vertical file. But, you know, you can, of course, if you're a Photoshop expert, then you can use that. But there are other tools as well, like PicMonkey and Canva. Some of the online graphic tools work well. I just have been using PowerPoint for so long that it's easiest for me to do it that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I use Stencil.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Is that pretty good for resizing?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you change it and it'll change the format. You still have to fiddle with the stuff, but it gives you that format. So it's kind of like having a template, like if you have that in PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
It just provides you that automatically.
Right. Tim, do you do most of your resizing in Photoshop?
Yeah, I mean, I know enough Photoshop to be dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, if you know it, then why not use a good tool, right?
Because you can just drop it in and it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
And for me, it's just never seemed like something that was worth taking my time to learn how to use it when
exactly.
I can get most of what I need from PowerPoint.
I'll give a bonus tip here. And if you export your videos high res, and then you have that on your screen at full resolution, when you do your screenshot, it's going to be like it would be if you took it into Photoshop. I mean, that's where you can save a lot of time.
Yeah, because it is the resolution. You're right.
It's all based on resolution.
Yep. And the other thing that I'll add too as a tip, you can export any PowerPoint slide as an image. Mm-hmm. You don't always get the greatest resolution when you do that. So I actually use a third-party add-in. It's not very expensive, but it allows me to choose the resolution as I'm exporting that image. So I can export something at 300 DPI, which you can't do directly from PowerPoint.
Oh, what is that tool?
I don't remember the exact name of it. It's from a developer. His site is PP Tools. Okay. And I believe I paid about $50 for it, but I use it all the time to export images at a higher resolution than they would be if I just did it directly out of PowerPoint. So. Okay, well, we need to wrap up. This has been really fun. Thank you both for sharing such great information, and thank you to our audience for watching. I know I didn't take time to ask for questions and comments, but if you have posted a question or comment, Tim or Margaret or I will be happy to respond to you in the comments under the recording when it's finished, which should be very shortly. Thank you so much for watching Creative Marketing TV. I forgot which show I was running here. And thank you to my guests, Tim Maudlin and Margaret Eves.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you. Thanks.